A struggling architect named Viktor dreams of a beautiful and futuristic city. The city suddenly begins to decay as memories of a tragic accident flash past. He suddenly wakes up in his room and is shocked to find a miniature city there. While walking around the room, he notices that something is off and stares at a picture of him and an unknown person. Viktor reaches for food in his fridge, but is startled because everything appears to be forming out of thin air. His panic heightens as he stares at the roof and finds a large hole that's slowly closing. He rushes out of the room and tries talking to a man, but realizes that he's also incomplete. Viktor runs out of the building and sees that the entire world appears incomplete. The world wasn't just incomplete, it was completely disorganized, with roads all joining at strange ends and buildings going against the laws of gravity. People walk around as though everything is all right, but they're missing parts of their bodies. Viktor looks at a building and is suddenly able to reform its missing parts. He then sees a black figure standing on a building and staring at him. The figure rushes to attack him, but some strange people emerge and use an RPG to push it away. This only slows the creature down as they try and escape, and one of the men, named Phantom, kicks a traffic lamp at it. The group begins running away and jumps from one section of the abnormal roads to another. Phantom tries using a map, but doesn't understand how to read it. They eventually reach a point where they have to jump to a building that's upside down and floating. Viktor is the last to jump as he's afraid, but he eventually makes the jump. The creature rushes at them as though it were a reaper, following Viktor, but gets shot by Phantom. It leaves him with a deep cut on his palm, but the group continues their escape. The reaper locates them shortly after as they hide behind a pillar. Pilot realizes there's only one way for Phantom and the others to make it out alive. He pulls out a strange device and an explosive, but Fly doesn't want him to go on with his plan. He doesn't listen to her and takes both items to the reaper. This distracts the creature for a moment, but the explosive goes off and kills both the pilot and the reaper. Devastated by the loss of a friend, Fly tells Viktor that he's on his own and continues walking. Viktor asks the duo who they are and where they're going, but Phantom gives him a sarcastic response and continues moving.
Че, остаться хочешь?
His only chance of surviving in this strange world is to follow the people who seem to know more about it, and Viktor does just that. They walk on tarred road and Phantom uses a bandage to cover his wounds while Viktor asks Fly where they are. Fly informs Viktor that they're in a coma and everything they're seeing is the memories of people who are also in comas. The human brain stores memories like an electromagnetic field, and these memories become reality when people fall into a coma. Viktor continues walking, shocked by this information. He asks Fly about the people they saw moving around, but she assures him that they're just memories. She sees that he got injured while they were trying to escape the Reaper and uses her abilities. Phantom gets annoyed by how they're wasting time and asks Fly if she has done a perimeter sweep. Viktor asks where they're trying to go, and Fly points at a giant building that's floating above them in the sky. The trio arrives at a bus that's parked in the middle of a field. Viktor doesn't understand how getting in the bus will make them reach the floating building, but Phantom forces him to get inside. He's shocked to see that one part of the bus is right beside the floating building. Fly explains that it's a result of a memory gap where someone remembers the bus being in a field while someone else remembers it being beside the building. As they arrive at the building, which serves as a safe house, Spirit, Astronomer, and Tank rush to ask about Pilot. Phantom informs him of Pilot's sacrifice, and Spirit is upset that they let him do such. Just then, Yan, the leader of the group, emerges and calms the situation by saying Pilot's death was worth it. He instructs Fly to show Viktor around and help him settle it.
Все, концерт окончен, за работу.
Inside the building, Fly tells Viktor how things work there and how they're on constant alert against Reaper attacks. She speaks about Yan's description of an island that's free from Reapers and his desperate search for people who can help him get there. Viktor doesn't remember his name, and Fly confirms that no one does when they arrive in the Coma world. She instructs him to pick a nickname before someone picks one for him. Fly shows Viktor everyone's room and informs him that he'll get weapons from Tank. Viktor suddenly asks asks if she and Phantom are a couple, and she's annoyed by his question. She shows him his room and mentions how Jan has a high interest in him. Viktor wonders why Jan has such interest in him, and Fly tells him that everyone owes him their lives for helping them navigate through the Coma world. While sleeping that night, Viktor dreams about a strange building and a car crash. The shock of the crash wakes him up, and he realizes it has materialized in his room. Phantom suddenly enters the room and is surprised to see the construct. He has a conversation with Viktor about his arrival at the base and says everyone goes a bit crazy when they first arrive. Phantom apologizes for being rude to Viktor earlier, and they discuss Jan's dream of finding his peaceful island. He then asks Viktor to stay away from Fly, who he calls his girlfriend. Viktor refuses to oblige, as he says Fly should be allowed to decide who she'd like to be with instead of being forced into a relationship. This statement provokes Phantom, and he decides to conduct his screen exercise immediately.
Встать, боец!
Everyone gathers outside to watch Viktor's screening, and Phantom speaks about how some people receive special gifts when they arrive in the Coma world. Spirit can sense danger while also being able to summon ghosts, while Astronomer creates maps for the team. They all needed a little kick to initiate their abilities, and Phantom intends on putting Viktor in danger so they can find out if he has an ability. Gnome fires a canister out of the makeshift cannon, and Phantom catches it with ease. They wonder what Viktor's special ability will be, and Gnome shoots at him. The canister sends him to the ground, and Phantom tells him to defend himself. Seeing that the cannon isn't working, he instructs Gnome to unsheath a large robot he uses for training. The robot slowly moves towards Viktor as Gnome controls it, but Phantom snatches the remote from him and strikes Viktor several times. He yells at Viktor, telling him to defend himself. But Viktor is unable to. A strange flicker emerges as the robot is about to land the final blow, but Viktor is unable to create anything. He lies defeated on the floor, and Phantom instructs him to join Cable's group because he's an architect.
Кабель! Принимай пополнение.
That night, Viktor dreams about the events that unfolded before he fell into his coma. In his dream, he picks up a letter from a strange organization and goes to their headquarters, which is surrounded by strange people. The people in the building attempted to kidnap him, but he fled, and upon driving away in a car, had a devastating accident. Viktor wakes up as a man announces that it's the afternoon shift. He gets to work with Cable's team, and Phantom emerges, telling Cable that they're going on a mission to a submarine in his memories to gather explosives. He also annoys Viktor by slapping his head and tells him to get back to work. Cable believes that Viktor is one of the lucky ones and explains that he's a lot safer working there than going out with powers. He suggests that Viktor live his life quietly so he can survive until he wakes up from his coma. While he speaks, Jan interrupts and says time moves differently in the Coma world than in reality. A day in reality is several months in the Coma world, and they can live there for thousands of years. Jan sits beside Viktor and explains that he can choose whatever he wants to do in the Coma world.
Ничего не надо делать.
He admits that some people don't know what their powers are until they come face to face with real danger. Phantom, for instance, realized he had superhuman strength and agility, but only found out after being exposed to danger. Jan believes that people who end up in the Coma world didn't make it in the real world. He calls memories from the real world a burden, and the lack of them means they can all have a fresh start at life. They can do what they want in that world, but Jan advises Viktor not to remain idle.
Правила здесь немного другие.
Hearing this, Viktor asks Phantom if he can join them on their mission, and Jan instructs him to accept. Phantom is annoyed by this but doesn't have a choice but to agree. The group sets out on the mission, with Phantom leading the way and Viktor carrying everyone's bags. After walking for a while, they find Gnome's tunnel and realize they're close to their objective. Viktor asks why it's named that, and Gnome says it's because he's the one who remembers it. Fly explains that memories often get intertwined in that world, and sometimes people can decipher which memories are theirs. Astronomer then talks about his theory of dreams, and explains that dreams have information from the real world. These dreams can be a way out of the coma, but Phantom interrupts and reminds them that Jan has warned that messing with dreams will get them killed. Just then, Spirit alerts everyone to some Reapers, but Astronomer says it'll take days before they reach them. He explains to Viktor that coma patients are technically brain dead, and that death manifests itself in Reapers, creatures that are in a perpetual state of decay. Phantom is tired of their talking and instructs them to keep moving. They finally arrive at the location and everyone receives a whistle as a last resort weapon. Cable lets them know that the guards in his memory shoot at every stranger and they must be careful. The team arm themselves and Phantom instructs Tank to be behind him while Spirit distracts the guards. They move through the tunnel and Phantom takes out a guard with Spirit's help. They hide behind some rubble, and Cable points at the submarine hangar. Several guards move around, and instead of waiting for the right time to move, Phantom rushes in and attacks them using a grenade. This blows their cover, and everyone is forced to fight against the guards. While fighting, Tank throws a grenade vertically at the enemies above them, and it reaches, exploding just as it lands. Phantom plans on attacking a vehicle that's full of guards, and instructs Tank to cover him. This plan is a success. But a different set of guards emerges, and one hits Tank in the leg. The intense battle comes to an end, and Astronomer yells at Phantom, saying he has called the Reapers to their location. Phantom grabs his neck in anger and warns him to never raise his voice at him again. While this is happening, Gnome hacks the secret door, and everyone enters. They find the submarine and begin extracting a torpedo from it. Just then, Spirit senses danger, and Gnome sees 3 Reapers coming towards them. Phantom instructs them to leave Gnome and Cable behind and run, but Viktor refuses. He instructs everyone to get back and hold the chains instead of abandoning their friends. Everyone listens to him and returns, but Phantom gets angry and tries to shoot him. He misses his shot as Spirit pushes the gun in a different direction. The torpedo falls, but Viktor manifests his abilities and creates a ramp for it to safely slide on. The team doesn't have time to be amazed by what he did, and they flee the area, just narrowly escaping the Reapers. That night, everyone sits around a fire, and Cable narrates the events of the day. He's happy to be alive, but asks Viktor why he didn't obey Phantom's order. Phantom asks if he can build walls and bridges during combat, and Viktor confirms that he can. Jan tells everyone that there's a better way to use Viktor's newfound abilities instead of just in combat. He reminds everyone of how their hiding spots can be found by Reapers using their memories, and suggests they build a safe place to stay using their imagination instead of their memories. He intends to create an entire island that's free from Reapers, and believes that Viktor will be the key to his plan's success. Viktor hesitantly agrees to build their new home.
Да, смогу.
Seeing that there's no reason to wait, Jan says they should prepare to leave immediately. Phantom doesn't like the idea and asks Jan why they aren't discussing it first. Astronomer also says they'll need a path that's free from Reapers if everyone is traveling at once. Such a path hasn't been seen in a while, but Jan asks what their chances of survival are if they run out of explosives. He orders that they leave the following day and instructs Astronomer to be the squad leader. Phantom apologizes for overstepping during the last mission, but Jan refuses to change his decision. He reminds Phantom of how he endangered his team for no reason and says this next mission is too important to have him mess up. Angered by this, Phantom walks away, and Jan says they have a big day coming up.
Завтра великий день. Да, архитектор.
Later that night, Victor tries to harness his powers but isn't able to. Fly suddenly appears and offers to watch him work, but he refuses. She realizes that he doesn't know how to control his abilities and asks why he agreed to build their new home. Annoyed by the questions, Victor tries walking away, but Fly stops him, reminding him that a blueprint appeared when he was constructing the ramp. Victor realizes he needs to remember the entire structure of what he wants to build, and not just pieces of it. He constructs a model of a building and is excited that he can control his abilities. Fly is fascinated by this, but asks if she can take a look at the memories he has in his room. Victor agrees to show her and takes her to his room, where she's amazed by how many memories he has. They see an accident scene, and Victor explains that it happened when he was escaping a trap. Fly sees a faceless woman in the wreckage and asks Victor if they were close. Victor says it doesn't matter because he is in the Coma world and can live his life however he wants. While they're talking, a jealous phantom stands outside and overhears their conversation. The following day, everyone prepares to leave for the location of their new home. An astronomer shows them a route that's free from Reapers and says it's their best option. While everyone is planning their move, Phantom has ulterior motives and steals a whistle, hiding it in his coat. They begin their journey with Victor and Fly holding hands as they walk. Several Reapers suddenly sense that they are walking and move towards them. Meanwhile, several people make requests on how they want their homes to be in their new city. Spirit suddenly interrupts and says the Reapers are there. Everyone is shocked as the path they followed is meant to be free of Reapers. Having no other options, Astronomer asks Phantom for his suggestion, and Phantom suggests they split up and do some reconnaissance. Victor agrees to go join the reconnaissance team, and Astronomer asks him to return when he sees a large airplane in the sky. Unknown to him, this is a deliberate plan from Phantom to get him killed. Victor arrives at the plane, but a Reaper suddenly charges at him from behind. It prepares to kill him, but Tank emerges and uses a bomb to subdue it. Phantom, who is waiting for Victor's death, suddenly hears the explosion and realizes that someone saved him. Tank explains to Victor that Jan sent him and they have to move quickly. They return to the others and inform them that the Reapers are closing in on their location. Just then, Phantom rushes at Victor and pushes him to the ground. He looks through Victor's clothes and pulls out the whistle that he planted. Realizing that Phantom has betrayed them, everyone points their guns at him. The bandage on his arm falls off and reveals that he was slowly turning into a Reaper. Phantom tries to defend himself by passing the blame on Jan, but Jan shoots him. The bullet doesn't affect him, as it only reveals that his transformation into a Reaper is almost complete. Phantom runs away as the Reapers emerge, and the Astronomer instructs everyone to drop their heavy gear. Just then, the Reapers kill Cable and Gnome, causing everyone to panic. Several people lose their lives to the Reapers, and Victor tries to create a construct to defend them. However, he's interrupted by Jan, who instructs him to get to the bus for safety. Elsewhere, Phantom tries drawing the Reaper to himself, but they ignore him, showing that they consider him as one of them. Meanwhile, Victor, Fly, Tank, Spirit, and Astronomer run towards the bus but get surrounded by Reapers. Just then, Victor feels drowsy as a bright light surrounds him. The light begins to intensify, and it's as though he's shifting from one reality to another. He opens his eyes and finds himself in a hospital room. Before Victor regains consciousness, he remembers what happened before he fell into the coma. He accepted an invitation from a strange group, and they needed some of his futuristic building plans. Fly isn't happy that he wants to accept to work for them because the group is considered to be a cult. They meet someone who calls himself a disciple at the gate, and he says only Victor can be allowed to see their leader. Sensing that something is wrong, Fly hands him a taser to defend himself if things go south. Victor heads into the building and walks past several strange rooms. He eventually meets their leader, who is revealed to be Jan. Jan loves his plans and is interested in helping bring them to reality. He takes Victor to a secret room and explains that his organization organization gives people new life as a gift. They enter the room, and Viktor sees several people intentionally put in comas. Jan explains that observation of the cerebral physiology during a coma shows that humans have access to a different world, one that is even better than reality. Viktor is terrified by what he sees and tries to leave, but the guards try to force him into a coma. He pulls out the taser and uses it to push everyone away while running. Viktor sees the armed guards at the gate, but Fly backs her car into them, allowing him to get in. He instructs her to drive away, and she doesn't pay attention to the road while scolding him for not listening to her. This causes her to run into an incoming truck, and Jan's men are able to retrieve them. Viktor fully regains consciousness and sees that Fly is also in a coma. Jan explains that she was put in a coma just a few hours before him, but months had passed in the coma world before he arrived.
А там прошли месяцы.
He confesses that his plan to make Viktor's city a reality isn't a lie, but he intends on doing it in the coma world. Jan talks about how he put together a team of people who can survive in the coma world and brought him as the architect because of his incredible imagination. His plan is to make a world where people are happy. Viktor sees his teammates from the coma world and asks if they were informed of what would happen. Hearing this, Jan revealed that Phantom regained his memories but refused to leave because, in reality, he's an amputee who lost both legs. Unfortunately, Phantom panicked and got infected by the Reapers, which in reality means it initiated a necrosis of its brain tissue. He defends his actions and says people will receive eternal life in the coma world. Viktor calls him a demented man for thinking he can use dreams to solve the world's problems. He asks the guards to let him go, but Jan refuses, saying he must finish the project, else Fly won't make it out alive. Jan agrees to let them go if he completes the island and the city on top of it. Viktor agrees, as it's the only way to save Fly and the others. While being prepped to return to the coma world, Jan explains that he will easily find the others. He also mentions how there's a back door to return to reality and promises to reveal it if Viktor completes the project. The sedatives kick in and Viktor falls asleep. He wakes up in the coma world and regains his memories almost immediately. Elsewhere, Tank defends the others using grenades, but they run out. Viktor uses his abilities to create a large bridge that crushes the last Reaper. He returns to everyone, informing them that they need to move quickly.
Как можно быстрее?
After a short journey, they arrive at the location where Jan wants the island to be built. Viktor tries explaining that Jan isn't being honest about what's happening, and they're trapped in his basement. While talking, Jan interrupts and instructs Viktor to begin building. Viktor agrees to his demands and builds a fascinating city, with his signature building standing in its center. Jan is pleased to see this and asks why anyone would prefer reality to his new world. Viktor demands that they be released, but Jan tells everyone the truth about themselves. Spirit spends her whole life suffering seizures and has no one to care for her. Tank is an alcoholic who caused the death of his family in a car crash. Astronomer is autistic and can't even leave his house because of his condition. He also reveals that Fly is Viktor's ex-girlfriend, and he pushed her away because of how better he is. Fly regains her memories and how Viktor was always bitter towards her, even when she offered her help. She remembers their trip to Jan's office, where Viktor accused her of having a lover because she suddenly became financially stable. He assures he will be successful, but Fly promises to never help him. After hearing the truth about their lives, Astronomer and Spirit decide to remain in the coma world, but Jan refuses, saying that they could ruin his plan by revealing the truth to the people who come next. They promise not to tell anyone, but Jan refuses, stating that cerebral hypoxia has been induced. Tank suddenly fades away as his brain suffocates from lack of oxygen. Viktor tries grabbing him, but Jan, who has stimulated his brain, pushes him away and injures his hand. He leaves the others to die as he walks into the city, and Fly treats Viktor's injuries. Refusing to give up, Viktor gets up and decides to find the back door that Jan told him about. He asks Astronomer about his theory on dreams, and Astronomer says a person can find their reality through dreams. They realize that this is why Jan spread a rumor about dreams lead to death, and rush to find Viktor's dreams. Spirit remains devastated that she can't enter the city and chooses to die instead of fight. While this happens, Jan notices that the trio is up to something and decides to follow them. They rush to the bus but see that the Reapers are already at the building. Viktor thinks of a plan and they enter the bus. As they get to the building, Viktor rushes and grabs the remote that controls Phantom's training robot. He uses the robot to fight against the Reaper, giving them a chance to run to his room. They successfully arrive at Viktor's room and Fly sees that she's actually the one in the wrecked car. The trio enters Viktor's dream and carefully moves around. They enter the building, but it's not as Viktor remembers. Astronomer explains that dreams are mixed up and asks Viktor to concentrate. Viktor leads them through the same route he followed to get to the basement, but they end up on a balcony. Frustrated, Viktor screams.
Здесь была дверь и лестница. Здесь все не так!
But Astronomer suggests he remembers details of the room and not the path to the room itself. This immediately reminds Viktor of a path they saw, and as they reach it, it resembles an Egyptian temple. Viktor used his memory of the picture of an Egyptian temple he saw in Jan's basement. Upon realizing that his suggestion is correct, Astronomer runs out of oxygen and fades away, leaving only Viktor and Fly. Jan suddenly appears and isn't surprised that Viktor could remember the temple he saw. He approaches the duo with intent of killing them, and Viktor tries protecting them. This doesn't work, and Jan talks about how even his research division didn't believe in his work. He calls the world stupid for not believing that he could prolong human life. While Jan speaks, Viktor constructs a slab of concrete above his head and drops it on him. Jan destroys it just before it lands on his head, and Viktor instructs Fly to escape. Jan grabs his neck while he tries running and tells him that all human emotions are simply electric signals in our brains. He talks about the measurement he did with people in the Coma world and people in the real world, and the electrical signals are identical. Jan prepares to kill Viktor but is suddenly stabbed. He releases Viktor while in shock and sees that he was stabbed by a Reaper. The Reaper leans towards Viktor and reveals himself to be Phantom, who doesn't attack them. The duo holds on to each other as Viktor moves towards the temple. They prepare to leave, but Fly begins fading as she runs out of oxygen. Viktor wakes up in the real world and pulls a pipe out of his throat. He rushes to Fly and also pulls out her oxygen pipe. This allows her to wake up, and Viktor is glad that she is alive. While this happens, the disciple rushes into the room and sees that Jan's brain has suffered necrosis. One of the doctors tries to prevent Viktor and Fly from leaving the building, but the disciple stops him and lets them leave. Time passes after the almost unbelievable event, and Viktor works on a project in his house. This time, he has decided to work on normal houses and abandon his futuristic designs. He and Fly are back together, and they celebrate a new gig he acquired. While this happens, the news comes on and shows that Jan's organization won't face any backlash for their actions because their test subjects were there willingly. The group continues recruiting people with the promising of eternal life. Fly asks if Viktor thinks they'll come after them, but Viktor isn't worried. As Fly leaves the room, Viktor reveals to be hiding a letter from Jan's organization. He hides the letter in his drawer and locks it. The couple takes their dog out for a walk, and a model of Viktor's previous plan is left abandoned in a box. Viktor hated his life as an unsuccessful architect and was desperate for a big break. A shady organization intended on giving him his big break, but in a way he wasn't expecting. Realizing that Jan intended on creating a false world by putting people in comas, Jan tried to break free but had to save someone he loved while doing so. Friends were formed during this crazy journey, and Viktor managed to return to reality. Would you have preferred to stay in the Coma world?